I had a request for number 22, so we'll run through that as quickly as we can. Question 22, I didn't draw it exactly like they drew it in the diagram in the book because it's a pretty complicated diagram. The twist there is they asked for the shaded region, and if you notice, exactly half of the regions are shaded. So it should just be half of the overall area. So the other thing is you can count the length from the center to one of the vertices. That length is 4, and that's going to be the measurement that you're going to need here. So a couple of other things. This is usually called the radius of a shape. Should have been in your reading somewhere, but if you didn't see it, now you've seen it. If you're wondering why it's called the radius, it's because if you inscribe the shape in a circle, in other words, if you drew the shape so all of its vertices were touching a circle, that would be the radius of the circle. So it's also called the radius of the hexagon, or you could have a radius of a pentagon or an octagon. All right, so remember, hexagons break up into equilateral triangles. They have 120-degree angles. Be careful, pentagons don't, octagons don't, decagons don't, but hexagons do, okay? Now, we could use the side squared over 4 radical 3 formula, and we could find the area of one equilateral triangle here. Since the focus in this section is on the area of regular polygons, I'm going to use the half the apothem times the perimeter formula. So usually write down the formula, and I want to find the measurements. Of course, if this is an equilateral triangle here, this side is going to be 4. Remember that you can divide the equilateral triangle into a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So if this whole length is 4, this length here would be 2, and following 30, 60, 90 patterns, this side here would be 2 radical 3. So we know our apothem is 2 radical 3. The perimeter, each of the sides will be 4. 4 times 6 is 24. So when you're showing your work, I really encourage you to write down the formula and then show what values are being substituted in. So at least do something like this. We're going to take half of 2 radical 3 times 24. Half of 2 radical 3 is just radical 3 times 24 will be 24 radical 3. Now be careful, that's not the final answer in this question because only half the region is shaded. Okay, so the half area would be 12 radical 3, and you really want to say square units or units squared afterwards. They didn't give us units, but just in general, you want to get in the habit of putting units with your area and volume answers. So hope that helps.